Hey everybody, and welcome to part 3 in our house modeling series. Today we're going to be looking at roofs, roof pitches, roof types, roof coverings, tiles, plates, tin, that kind of stuff, right? Here we go. This video has been made possible by BENQ. If you're a digital artist in need of a professional grade monitor, then check out benq.com. Hey guys, and welcome back. Well, this is part 3 of our house modeling series. Now, usually a house has a roof or a roof, depending on where you live and how you pronounce that. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So I'm going to show you how to model different types, but also how to make different roof coverings, so tiles and that kind of stuff, yeah? Okay, let's get started. We're going to start very simple and we're going to move up and progress as the video moves forward, yeah? Okay, now, if we take a polygon cube, and we hit R and we scale that out and flatten that out, you would say, hey, that's a roof, right? Not really, because this looks fake. For the simple reason that a flat roof will gather water and you will have pipes running on the interior somewhere in the corner. And for that reason, you don't want the roof to be perfectly flat, because what will happen is the water will run off the roof, yeah? So simple solution for that is go to face. We don't need the bottom one. Going to select the top one and we're going to extrude, and we're going to tweak the offset a little bit. Come on, the offset, yeah, something like so. And then we're going to hit W and push it down like that, right? Now what that will do is that will gather the water and drive it into a corner, okay? And then from there a pipe will run down either internally or externally. So that's a pretty simple approach. Now, the second thing you want to do on a flat roof is you want to kind of put the boards on here. Don't leave it like this. Put boards on, and preferably with some seams. Roofs are typically quite large. For transportation reasons, they wouldn't have boards that stretch the entire side of a house. So you would get something like, and I'll just give you an example. We'll take a cube here, and we'll push that in. Pull that out. Let's get that in the spot where we want it. All right, let's go and move that up. And usually I would say the approximate dimension for a board like that would be somewhere around 3 meters, right? So 3 meters is about 10 feet. And this is still very thick, but you get the idea. Something like this, yeah. So if one cube would be a meter, we would bring it in a little bit. We'd go to vertex, drag select, and it's just to show you guys the technique, right? Okay, so something like so. Go into object mode, hit Control D to duplicate, move it over. Of course, align that properly, and then Shift D and so forth. So when that roof is done, you will see tiny seams like this right here, and that makes it look a lot more realistic, okay? All right, so let's see, what else about flat roofs? Now, one more thing you can consider, although that would probably be more like a texturing option, is a flat roof never looks this clean, right? So what you would have is you would have patches where they kind of fix the roof. So you'd have a little square here and one there and one square overlapping the other and so forth. That's typically a texturing thing you could do, but it would make it a lot more realistic. And then finally, on top of a flat roof, what you would have is all sorts of utilities. So you would have an AC unit, you would have maybe smokestacks, you would have stuff like that. Antennas maybe even, right? And depending on the story you're telling with the building, and yes, you are telling a story with your building, you can add things that are suitable for the period. So let's say you want, I don't know, 1950s London. You might have TV antennas on the roof, right? Maybe you want to have a Middle Eastern village. You might have satellite dishes on the roof, okay? And so forth and so on. And a lot of that helps you to tell your story, okay? All right, so enough about flat roofs. Let's get rid of that. Now, let's go for a very, very obvious one. We'll take a polygon plane instead of a cube. Control A, let's go in here. Set that to 1 by 1. There you go. Let's scale it up a little bit. And there you go. Okay. So let's say I want a straightforward roof, right? Insert edge loop. Let's set it to multiple and 1. And as we do so, it will put it smack in the middle. Boom. There you go. We're going to Q on a keyboard. Right click on a vertex. Drag select these two. And push that up. Boom. Roof. Yeah. Okay, now keep in mind that the pitch of the roof is pretty important. There are roofs that are like this. There are roofs that are like this. It all kind of depends. But keep in mind, when you're doing this, you also need to think about, okay, is this in the middle of a very crowded village? Because you would have less space to build. So you might want to work your way up. Typically, you would see that in very old villages, like I said, for example, Old London. Yeah. When you have a lot more space, you would probably see something more like that, right? And then also the weather conditions. If you are in an area where there's a lot of snow and your house is positioned there, you want to have this pitch a bit higher because otherwise the roof might collapse under the weight of the snow. All things you can consider when you are doing your research, right? Okay, so now that we have that, what about a slightly more complicated roof? Let's say you have something like this, and we'll go in here, and we'll hit R, and kind of push that out. And then you want to have a section coming out of the side there, right? Now, what I see people do is they duplicate this, hit E, rotate it, do something like that, and then, for example, hit W and move it over here, and you would get something like that, right? Problem is you got all this geometry in here and that's not ideal. Okay, so what you can do instead is just get rid of all of this. We'll go into polygon plane once again. We'll go in and set that to 1 by 1. There you go. We're going to select that. We're going to scale it up a little bit like this. Then we're going to go in here and we're going to go to edge, select all of them. We're going to hit extrude, but keep face together. We're going to turn that off. Right, then we're going to tweak the offset like so. Yeah, Q on the keyboard. Then we're going to go in here. We're going to go to insert edge loop. It's still set to multiple and 1. We'll put 1 in the middle right here. We'll put 1 in the middle right there. Yeah, Q on the keyboard. And then what we can do is we can select these two edges. So this one and that one. And as we hit W to move them up, you get a roof like this. It's much cleaner, it's in one piece, and you can then decide to put in edges here if you want, if that's the model you want. So these are triangles, it's not a problem, but we can add that and fix that. We'll go to multi-cut tool. Multi-cut, jump from here to there, hit enter, and from there to there, and hit enter. And that might even make it more interesting. Okay, so I'm going to Q on the keyboard again. We're going to go to edge. We're going to double click this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. As before, we're going to hit W. We're going to raise that up like so. And then it's all nice and clean, right? No problems there. We got triangles, we got quads. Good, good. And then if you don't want to have this cross, you only want to have a section on one side, you'll go in here, you'll get rid of those. You'll take this guy and this guy, delete that. You'll right click, go to face, 1 and 2, delete that, and then go in here to edge, 1 and 2, go to edit mesh and bridge, option box, linear path, 0 divisions and bridge, and then you got a roof like that, right? Of course, you need to merge the vertices. Let's do that to be complete. So we're going to select that. We're going to go to merge 0.01, that's fine, and enter. Okay. So that's a way you can do that. And of course, if you want this to be smaller, let's go to vertex, this and this. You can just bring that in like so and tweak that any way you like, right? Like so. And so on. Yeah? Okay, cool. All right, so that's a type of roof you can do. What else? Let's say a dome shape, okay? let's get rid of this. And let's go into a sphere. And we're going to Control A to open up the attribute editor, go in here and set this to 12 by 12. Yeah, that's fine. Then we're going to go in here and we're going to right click and go to face, drag, select, and delete. Okay, now that's pretty easy and pretty straightforward, right? Now, of course, you're going to want to have an edge here as well. Keep in mind that rain will run off this roof. You're going to smooth this guy, of course, something like this. Rain's going to run off. It needs to go somewhere, right? So never have it just like that. Take the edge, extrude it, tweak the offset a little bit. Not the offset, sorry, the thickness, like this. G to repeat, W to push up. And then G to repeat, R to scale out, G to repeat, W to push down, something like that, right? So this is for a couple of reasons. One is for rain gathering, you probably have a rain catch system inside this gutter. Also keep in mind that you need access for maintenance, right? So you need to have the opportunity for people to walk up here, to put ladders up to fix the roof if necessary. And then of course, on a dome, depending on what type of dome it is, you would have something on the roof here, right? Like if it's a religious building, you would have something up there. If it's a maybe a scientific building, I don't know, up to you. And what always works well is put windows in domes, especially if you are kind of working on something sci-fi-ish. Yeah. Okay, what else? Let's do something very modern, right? Let's see, what we'll do is we'll take another plane and we'll put in, let's say, I don't know, 5 by 5 should be fine. Yeah. We're going to make it a bit bigger so you can see what's going on. There you go. And then we're simply going to go in here to edge mode. Yep. And we're going to hit W and we're going to push that up like this. And then we'll take this guy and we'll make this very modern. Let's insert an edge loop here. Let's do one. Yeah, right there. Okay, and then we're going to take this guy and we're going to hit W and I'm going to move it forward. Now, if you want a roof like this to work, right, you need to keep a couple of things in mind. And this is these are things that you notice when you're looking at buildings, but you're typically not aware of it, right? Look at the practicality of it. So again, maintenance. How do they get to that roof? Is there a rail system? Is there a ladder system? Anything like that? Are there windows up here? What is the setup for the rain collection system? If this is a very tall building, how are they going to clean the windows on the outside? Is there a crane on the roof and so forth? Okay, how about this? We're going to take a polygon plane, yeah? And we're going to go in here and we're just going to jump into this view, would be fine. We're going to right click on a vertex. We're going to drag select one, skip one, skip one, skip one, skip one. And we're going to W and we're going to move it up like this. Okay. Now, if you go in here and you smooth this out by hitting 3, you've got something looking like a plate like that, right? And then if you want this to be on the roof, what I would do is I would tilt it. Actually, let's set it at we'll set it at an angle first. E to rotate, hold down J, something like so, yeah. And then what you do is you would hit Control D to duplicate. Let's go over to, let's see, I think this view, yeah. Hit W, and then you're going to move it down and put it in here somewhere. Let's have a look. Okay, so you want to be a bit further than that. Let's say something like this. You get the idea, right? And you're going to want to have a very fine line here where you can see that, okay? So that's a pretty easy approach. Keep in mind though that if you want to copy these sideways, you want to make sure that these arches fit properly, right? So to do that, the distance you're going up with the vertices at one end, it needs to be equal to what you're going with at the other end. So basically, if I go into, I can't see it from this angle anymore. If I were to make a straight line over the vertices, it should line up. Yeah. All right. So that's that. What's next? Let's look at a Spanish roof. Yeah. We'll take, let's see, a Polygon Pipe, I would say. Okay. So Polygon Pipe, actually we could have done that with the cylinder, why not? We'll take a cylinder, we'll go in here, we'll go into the top, right click, go to face, F to frame, hold down the tab key, get rid of that, do that again. So we got that, and then we're gonna right click and go to face, select all of this to about here, I would say. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So now that we have one of these, we're going to hit E, we're going to rotate, hold down J, flip it vertical, like so, or horizontal, sorry. Yeah, we're going to stretch it out a little. And what you're going to do here is you're going to extrude that a little bit. Let's do 0.1, that would be nice, yeah. And then you can go in here and you can smooth that out if you like. And we'll get something like this. Now, you see those black edges because the subdivision level isn't high enough, but it kind of depends on what you want, right? So if I were to increase that by, let's say, mesh and smooth, where we go, you would see that those black edges would disappear, okay? Now, we got this guy, whether you want these corners to be tight or not, that's up to you. What we're going to do next is we're going to take one of these, we're going to hit Control D to duplicate, and E to rotate, hold on J. We're going to flip it like so. We're going to hit W, we're going to move that up, and then we're going to move that over. Okay, let's have a look from here. And you kind of want to be precise about that. And then let's move that up to about there. And then we'll take these two, Control D to duplicate, W to move, and we'll move it like so. And then hit Shift D a couple of times. So you get something like that, right? And then we're gonna drag select all of that. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go in here to, let's see, what view? Control D, W to move. Let me find the correct view here for a second. Let's push that down a little bit. And then hit Shift D. And then we'll take the whole thing and we'll group it. So we can hit E and we can kind of rotate it at an angle. And hit W and move that up. And then you would have a somewhat of a Spanish tile roof. Yeah, okay. So let's see, we have plates, we have this. We'll do one more. Let's say you have a house somewhere in the mountains in Colorado and there's a lot of snow and so forth. You would have somewhat of a tin roof, maybe, but looks a little bit different, yeah? So we're going to take another polygon plane. We're going to hit R. We're going to scale that up. So if that were one of the plates on the house, you would probably see something like this. We'll take every other edge like so. We'll bevel. Let's do 0.2, maybe even less, 0.05 maybe. Yeah, that's better. Then we're going to go in here, we're going to go to face, click and shift double click. Like so. Extrude, let's do 0.1, which may be a bit more, 0.2 maybe, that's better, 0.2, yep. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this guy, you're going to tilt it, and like I said, Colorado snow roof, so you want to have a proper pitch. We're going to Control E to rotate, and not Control E, sorry. We're gonna hit, let's go back, excuse me. back. We're gonna hit E to rotate, and hopefully I duplicated it, but I don't think so. Give me 1 sec, guys. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're gonna take this, Control D to duplicate, E to rotate, hold down J, and let's change the orientation here to world mode. Yeah. Flip it around like so. We're gonna W, we're gonna move it over to here, and then you're gonna want something to cover the top of that roof. Yeah. So you're gonna go in there, and we'll take a polygon plane. You're gonna hit W, we're gonna hit R, we're gonna scale that out. Control A, let's set that to 1 by 1, and then we'll go in here, insert edge loop, multiple in 1, which will put it in the middle. Q on the keyboard, we're gonna go to object mode, we're gonna hit R, and we're gonna push that in like so. Then we're gonna hit W, move it in, put it on the middle, hit 4 for wireframe mode so we can see where we're at. There we go. Hold down X. That would be it, I would say. No, not quite. So hold down V. There you want to go. We're gonna push it in like this. We're gonna scale it out like this. And then you're gonna go in here. You're gonna hit W. You're gonna move that down. After frame. A bit further about there, I would say, and then you go in to take that middle edge and you move that up like so, and then we'll take this one and this one, and we'll hit R and we'll pull that out until you match that pitch, right? And then you can of course go in here and add thickness to it and so forth. So yeah, let's see. I think that's about it, guys. So just to give you a couple of ideas what you can do as far as roof shapes, how you can tell a story while you make that roof, and a couple of different types of how to cover roofs, right? Now, I guess I said the word roof a lot in this video. Let me know in the comments how many times, right? Okay, if you got any suggestions for other home modeling videos or house modeling videos, let me know, right? Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.